Hello everyone. I'm going to start with the LSNAV product and the web POS. I talked about this first, I think, a couple of years ago in Dubai. Then this was a roadmap thing. We said this is something we're going to do in the future. Last year in Rome, we actually showed you something. We showed you a very rough prototype, sort of the direction the product was going into. But this year, we're actually going to show you almost a fully completed product. As the name implies, this is a POS that runs in a browser. This is our cloud POS. And now you're probably thinking, but that will mess everything up. That means that every single customization, every single localization I've done in the past needs to be thrown away because they're bringing in a new platform. That's not the case. We've tried as hard as we can to maintain an upgrade path and maintain compatibility with the existing POS. And so far, we've succeeded because we can run them side by side. If you want to run the web POS for part of your operation, you can do that. If you want to run the classic POS for another part, you can do that as well. The key theme here is preserving the customer's investment, like Marco mentioned and Magnus mentioned as well. Preserve the customer's investment. And another question you're probably asking as well, what about performance? I mean, did they manage to create a POS that will actually perform in the cloud? And I'm happy to tell you that we've spent a lot of time making sure that the cloud POS is both scalable, fast, and can work concurrently with others in the cloud. Now, a second big task we've been working on is e-commerce. It's surprising how many things happen in the back when you do a simple e-commerce transaction. And we've been making sure that all of these processes are supported in the LSNAV backend. Like you saw in the video earlier, we've been hard at work trying to plug these little holes that happen over time, adding things like centralized transaction registry for returns, anonymous baskets, multiple item hierarchies, and so on and so forth. We believe that altogether, these changes will make the LSNAV product a fantastic backend for e-commerce operations. That's my opinion, at least. Now, moving on to insights and analytics. We launched a product last year called LS Recommend that handles the recommendation service, looking at what you have bought, compared this to other customers, and figuring out what you have in common. Now, since then, we've been fine-tuning this engine and bringing this to another platform, most notably the mobile POS, which I think will be a great benefit for the mobile POS. We also launched last year the cloud-based BI product, LS Insight. And as we saw in the video earlier in Magnus's keynote, we're bringing additional functionality to that product in the form of inventory analysis and financial analysis as well. I believe that insights is the key for a successful retail strategy. We want to know not only what we have sold, but also who we sold it to and how that person compares to others, so we can find some commonalities. I'm also pleased to tell you that we're working on a couple of research projects related to basket analysis and customer segmentation. This is done in cooperation with a local university, and I'm looking forward to present the results of those projects to you later this year. We're also adding a couple of new verticals. One is called LS Activity, handles everything related to bookings. If you have a conference, if you are registering a tea time, if you have a spa appointment, everything related to bookings. And another new vertical is LS Pharmacy, which you've seen before, but we've made some good progress with our first sort of release version of that for the past year, and we're very excited to show you how we've progressed with this module since then. E-commerce is a central part of our product strategy and a cornerstone of every omni-channel retail strategy. I think of all the announcements I've personally made at Connection, the announcement regarding our cooperation with Magento 2 years ago generated the most buzz. I've never seen feedback like that regarding any of the things we've announced at these conferences. And since then, our cooperation with Magento has only continued to grow. We're now an official Magento partner, and we've signed up partnership deals with a number of Magento system integrators, which will help both our customers and our partners to deliver Magento into our retail channel. At the same time, we have brought in a new e-commerce vendor. The company is called Avencia, and the product is called Avencia Storefront. Avencia has been in the e-commerce business for many years. They're bringing a lot of experience, and I think they will be a very good addition to the LS Retail partner ecosystem. Now, payments is like we said in the video. We want to make payments simple, and that's why we brought out this product, which we call LS Pay. The goal is to offer out-of-the-box payment integration around the world. And this is not for a single product. The LS Pay engine should work across products, meaning NAV, LS NAV, the mobile POS, e-commerce, the whole product portfolio. So far, we've signed up or created integrations or connections to vendors in the US, Canada, and Scandinavia. And we're currently working on adding more vendors in the US, closing the rest of Europe, and signing some deals in Australia and New Zealand as well. We believe that this will totally change the payment game. No longer have to go through a very long integration process and a certification process to get your payment solution up and running. And I'm happy to tell you that the reaction to LS Pay has been phenomenal. We already have around 2,000 POS terminals running with LS Pay as today. So I'm very happy with that result for this product. Now on the mobile POS front, there are so many things that we can mention regarding mobile POS because the activity and traction that the mobile POS has been getting for the past year has just been phenomenal. I'm just going to mention a few. We now are working on an offline version of the POS. We'll have X and Z reports pretty soon. We're working on proactive discount calculations. We'll have user permissions. We'll have the recommendation integration and so forth. And finally, the news I'm not going to mention today, but the Omni team is hosting the keynote tomorrow with a very exciting new product. So stay tuned for some news from the Omni team for tomorrow's keynote. Now, LS1 saw a tremendous growth last year, something we've hardly ever seen in any of our products for the past, I don't know how many years. And this is partially because we positioned LS1 as a replacement for RMS, or the retail management system, which Microsoft discontinued last year. And as a part of the process, to make the product sort of a plug-in replacement, we had to close a few gaps, mostly on the inventory side, and I'm very happy with how that turned out. We actually got the comments from some of our partners saying, LS1 is now the Rolls-Royce of standalone retail POS systems. You know, it doesn't get much better than that. But the improvements we made were mostly related to inventory, stock counting, stock transfers, stock counting, replenishment and transfers, and also on the ordering side, better support for purchase orders and customer orders, which will eventually benefit e-commerce because we plan to bring e-commerce into LS1 as well at some point. We've already made an integration to the mobile POS, and we've done an integration to SAP Business One. I know Marco doesn't like this, but we've done an integration to SAP Business One using our brand new integration framework. We're using the SAP Business One as a backend. Master data will flow through the integration framework down to LS1, and we'll deliver sales and sales-related information into B1 from LS1. Now, last but not least, LS First. We've had a lot of activity on LS First during the last months, gone live with some very large customers recently. So now, when all of that is done, we can focus on taking the next step, and that is to migrate the solution into Dynamics 365 for operation. And this is a task we're starting now and hoping to have something ready for you at the end of summer, early fall. This migration will, of course, follow the same procedures as every single Microsoft product is doing today. That is built using extensions so it can be easily upgraded and easily maintained down the road. And at the same time, we're building an e-commerce website for food ordering, which will be available sometime later this year. And now you're probably all wondering, after having done this year in review, what are we going to do regarding Financials 365? And I'm pleased to say that this is the answer. We're going to come out with a version that supports both the cloud and on-premise solutions. Again, like Marco said, single code base. It's built on the new extension model, so it can be easily maintained and upgraded down the road. And we're scheduling this for release in Q1 next year, 2018. So this was the big announcement. Thank you. Thank you. And now you're probably thinking he's going to leave us with some roadmaps, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give you a detailed roadmap of what we're doing with our product, but instead I'm going to follow in Magnus's footsteps and give you a vision, or maybe a version of a vision. I'm going to give you the areas we're going to focus on, because these are the areas LS Retail is going to focus on in the future. We are committed to bringing our products into the cloud, but at the same time supporting the on-prem business. That needs to be absolutely clear. We're not leaving anyone behind. At the same time, we're committed to deliver an e-commerce experience that is best of class. We want to continue to develop our mobile POS. We want to continue to develop our insights and analytics to help retailers understand where their customers are really coming from. And we want to build this on a very strong, functional foundation. That's it for me. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of the conference.